so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness which creates and animates all things. After years of exploring this awe-inspiring truth on this podcast, I'm super excited to announce that we are now going even deeper down the rabbit hole on the new late-night style consciousness-elevating talk show called Optimistic, which features none other than you, the listeners. Optimistic is taped out of the epic spaceship-esque 8-bedroom property we call the Mystic Manor that myself and the rest of the Optimistic crew now navigate reality from in Venice Beach, California. And you are invited to come experience a Mystic Manor immersion week with us. During your week-long stay, you'll enjoy unique workshops, chef-prepared meals, one-on-one time coaching and consulting with me, and even co-creating magic with me as a guest on both Optimistic and an episode of the Positive Head podcast. When I started this, my aim with these immersive retreats was to facilitate the ultimate spiritual upgrade and tune-up, so to speak, for our guests while providing them with one of the most memorable experiences of their lives. And I'm happy to say that as of this recording, every guest at the end of their trip so far has told me that they have had a profound and transformational experience at the Mystic Manor and that they definitely want to come back. All that being said, we only have a limited number of spots available between now and next July. And as of this recording, about half of those spots are already filled. So if there's any part of you that is screaming, yes, I want to come, I feel like I need to be there, go now and book a slot with me to discuss how we can put our heads together and make it happen at calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. I know for some people there is also that little voice in their head saying, why not? I can't get off work. I can't afford it, and on and on and on. But, really Henry Ford, I think, said it best. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I'm confident that where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm personally committed to doing everything in my power, including discounts and payment plans, to get you here if it is something that truly feels like a huge yes for you energetically and like you're meant to be here. Once again, the link to book time to discuss with me is calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. That's spelled calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. All one word, of course. And book in some time and look forward to seeing you soon here at the Mystic Manor. All right, all you positive heads, here we go again. It is a fantabulous Friday here in the studio, and I'm so alone today. There's only 6 other people with me, and I'm trying to find my way through it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to cope without some support, but hopefully the 6 of you can somehow guide me through this very lonely moment in space-time. Welcome, everyone. Hello, we've got all the Mystic Manor guests here. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, y'all. 6. This is the first time we've had 6. And wow, what an woo! Apparently, the sum is greater than the equal parts, and there is an exponential growing and expansion effect. It has been quite the powerful few days so far, and of course, this is my favorite day because I get to spend it with all of these lovely souls. And so let's start off. There's quite a few voices here, so let's just jump right in. I have a feeling I know who's going to be first. Who wants to go first? I'll just pretend like I don't know.
It'll be Kimber. Hi, everyone. It's been a really magical experience so far. I think the biggest thing for me, I've listened to Brandon for quite some time now, almost 4 years, and changed my life in so many ways, and I was so excited to come do this. And I had a vision before I came of a magician.
That's right.
And so trying to figure all that out, and then finally coming to realize that through these experiences and through the Akashic Records and through the time with Alex and Samantha, that everyone kept calling me the magician. And so it's really been an epiphany for me. I've been looking for this magician and looking for this magic when I'm the magic.
That's, can I add to that? I don't want to interrupt, but I just got excited because I had a realization, and you guys know that excites me. So Chad, our Mystic Manor house magician, brother from another alien, who is always, he's been here, ever since we originally met. It was like instantly like soul brother. It's only been a couple months ago, but he's literally been here every week. That guests have been here since, and he's around a lot. He just blows people's minds with his magic, and he happens to not be here this week. He went down to Gerard Butler's birthday party in Costa Rica and hasn't made his way back yet. Although I think he may be getting back today. He did message me, so maybe you guys will still meet him. But I think that's a really interesting tie-in, because even when you landed, I'm like, oh, you're going to meet a magician. You brought this up, and what a great realization that you're having is like, no, I am the magician, I am the magic. So there's actually a void here of that in the house in a certain way, and here you've stepped in. And then I think about the work that you do, and it's such a unique. You want to explain to them what you do?
So I'm actually a hairstylist and a balayage artist, and I felt called to leave where I was at in a very metropolitan area in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I moved back to the mountains of Tennessee to open up a metaphysical hair salon. So we're in the mountains.
Magic hair, everyone.
Yes. Offering Reiki and support and healing through the medicine of working on people's hair and trying to share our light. So.
Right. It's so amazing. I mean, we've had quite a few hairstylists now. It's been a few times from Mello, shout out, Scott. I mean, so it's such an interesting thing to be doing magic on people's hair, like energy work on hair, and in Tennessee. When you told me that, I'm like, wow, because I lived in Tennessee. I went to college in Tennessee, and it's not quite Venice Beach, with the amount of openness that, and so that's pretty amazing. Yeah,
it was a scary thought to leave more of that city area to go back to my home and do this, but I felt like, why not go where it's most needed?
Right. Super cool. Well, thank you for bringing your magic here to the manor.
Thanks for helping me find my magic.
You are magical. You're so incredible. Who's next? Who else wants to step up to the mic and share a little bit about their experience thus far? Well,
I'll go since my friend Kimber brought me here. She told me about it a couple months ago, and I've just been going through a hard time. And as soon as I heard that you were doing this and saw that you wanted to change the world, and knew I had to come here.
Aww.
Yeah.
How has your experience been? Has it been okay on a scale of honest 1 to 10? Where would you say it's like ranked up for you?
11.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Just the workshops with Sam and Alex and Leah, it just helped us all to open up and be ourselves, and just surrender to everybody, and be there.
This crew has been such a expansive. I mean, all of you guys have just there's been so much expansion, and really the next 2 days are usually the most intense. Like, we go spend the day together, and then tonight there's a cacao ceremony, which is beautiful and epic. Ayla and Nasiera, who lead that. They're so good. And then, of course, the live taping tomorrow. An after party, so yeah, there's still so much more to come. But wait, there's more. Well, who else? Who's up?
Charlie.
Okay,
You got the Adventure Time pants on. You can handle this. With those pants, you can handle anything.
so I've struggled with being confident for like most of my life. You know, I always felt alone, like an outsider, and coming here, it really made me feel love, and and start to like love myself and know that I am worthy, and I love you guys so much.
Aww.
Thank you so much. I like what a magical week. It's been so life changing. Thank you.
But you've got to go behind that.
So,
In case you can't tell by the accent, these two are together. London.
yeah, so Charlotte put me onto the podcast with a bit of arm twisting. A few months back, just because I'm very stubborn. And I listened to a couple and I was like, this is some real stuff. Fast forward a few months and we're here, which, I never even considered anything like this.
Wow.
And I didn't even look up really what you do, because I didn't want to put myself off coming, because I knew you're going to kind of be putting yourself out there. But even in the first session with Sam, we broke down so many barriers. It was crazy. Really crazy, really profound experience this week's been.
She's a powerful facilitator, huh?
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they all are actually.
Yeah.
Everyone here is amazing.
Sam has a way of taking you there without even you realizing you're going there.
She's such a leader. She's
really,
such
really
a
is.
boss babe. She just got so much
She would
wisdom.
love to know she just got called a boss babe.
Yeah, she would. She would. I think she'll probably hear about it. How about you?
I found all this through Sam.
Different Sam.
Different Sam.
Yeah.
My Sam.
Yeah.
Nice thing.
And it's just been crazy. Nothing I expected, really.
Did you have a lot of expectation?
No, not really. I mean, I mostly wanted her to grow and work through things, and I didn't really feel like I really had much to work through. And
You're just coming to support. So Sam and Nikki here are together. It's another couple. This is a lot of couples, friends. It's like every variation of couple is here right now.
Yeah.
So you came more as like just support for Sam.
Yeah.
And surprise.
Yeah, it's been intense and it's been really hard, but really freeing, and it's been very beneficial. So it's been pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Everything.
How about for you, Sam?
Oh man, where do I begin? So I've been listening to the podcast for probably a couple of years now. Nikki actually got me, was like, oh, maybe you should listen to this. Not knowing what it was, just, positive heads. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I was in a down slump, and I just needed to listen to something uplifting. And I had remembered her telling me about it, so I started listening to it, and I felt all the love already. So that was pretty cool. And when you talked about the Mystic Manor, I just felt it just so much that I needed to be here. But of course, I'm always questioning my inner self. So I was like, give me a sign. And it ended up being a hawk that I wanted to see.
Oh, wow.
And sure enough, within minutes, I saw that hawk, and I was like, all right, I'm going.
The hawk leads the way.
That's my sign.
Wow.
But there's been so many synchronicities,
just throughout.
And we weren't even supposed to be here this week.
Oh, right. You were going to originally come when
Just the first week
Alexa
of
and
December.
Ambrosia are here.
Yeah.
Shout out to those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there with them, but then Nikki changed jobs and couldn't get off that week. And it's just, like, I heard about just people becoming family. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. But, of course, self-doubt. It's a thing.
Yeah.
But the love is just so powerful here.
Yeah.
Just with everyone here. The facilitators, Brandon. Just the love is so strong.
Yeah,
so good.
You know, the way I really view it, and who was I just saying this to, but it's sort of like we've created this container, and just through osmosis, this is really the intention that we've set. Like, okay, we've really set the intention for this to be a vortex of transformation, and so you come and you spend a full week, it's like you're bathing in the energetics of this place where now we're like, week 14, I think. We're 13 weeks before you, there's just been transformation. They say, like, you go into a place where maybe really horrific things have happened and you feel the energy of that there, right? You come into a place like this and there's so much transformation and so many powerful healer. I mean, like tonight, the cacao ceremony that's happening, 30 people are going to descend on this place with like a love vibration that is just like a love bomb, And so that's just happening in such concentration here. I think it's causing, just through being around, people are being activated. And that is a really cool thing for me to see, because I've seen that sort of thing happen in like events or festivals where it's like there's 10,000 people here and they're all in their heart and everyone's really open, and all of a sudden a lot of magical things will start happening because it creates a field. And that's what I feel like we're all doing here. And you guys are like co-creating that field and adding to that field, and everyone who enters that field is like, it's kind of like there's an intelligence to it as well. It's like it's finding its way to work out what is it particularly that's blocking you.
It's purposeful.
Yeah. Right. So and without a lot of, and there's an intelligence behind it all that, I can't facilitate, or Sam can't facilitate, or Leah, or anyone else who's here, there's an energetic intelligence I feel behind it all that is just having an effect on every single person, including all of us that are here all the time. We're just all, the amount of upgrades within the permanent people, it's just like been like, okay, here we go. I was getting down at 3 a.m. Last night I ran into Leah, who's I didn't know was staying over, and I was up super late. We were all up really much later than normal. Last night was quite the woo. So I ran into Leah at 3 a.m, and she's like, pulls me, oh, hey. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were here. She's like, she's like, oh, I just finished a 4.5 hour session with Bradley, and he did all these activations. Bradley's my son. And, she's just talking about his journey of transformation that she's, been watching him go on and seeing energetically as an Akashic Records reader and energy healer. And so it's just like activations just like everywhere, Wow. So does anyone have anything that, you have the microphone, all your fellow P-heads are listening. Is there anything that you care to share about your own journey, or just, something that's been super helpful for you as of late, just something you want to get off your chest and you feel would be beneficial to share?
I held a lot of guilt and shame before coming here for a few years. And I was actually able to let that go finally, which is huge.
It's massive.
Yeah. It's such a powerful place. I would say to just jump in. Like, I actually asked Nikki. I was like, "Can I go on this retreat? Are you okay with it?"
No.
There's finances involved.
Yeah.
But it's so worth it. Every penny.
What I've said to every single person about that, for me, this has been the biggest financial stretch of my life. I had such comfort before doing this, and I just dove in knowing that it would actually create abundance ultimately, in my life. And it's like, okay, I could look at it one way and say, wow, this is going to cost $750,000 to create, 37 shows and the house and the retreats and all the expenses, or this actually creates abundance in my world. And I believe this is the way we all stretch and grow. If I had a nickel for every time someone did it and then said, oh my gosh, I just got this windfall of money from this unexpected source. It's like, when you look at something like this, the intention of what you guys are doing for yourself energetically, the statement you're making to the universe, like I'm worthy of this incredible upgrade, and then what you're supporting, to propagate in the world, optimistic and all the things that come from it. I probably said it to each one of you, I'm sure at some point, like you're on the energetic repercussion receiving end of that. The same reason I do all this, it's the good kind of selfish, and you guys are pillars of getting this off the ground, and you'll be listed as producers of, tomorrow night's episode that we record, and you're just intimately tied to it. And so I just applaud everyone who's made that stretch and is willing to sort of put themselves out there and co-create this with me, because as you can imagine, this would be a totally different experience if you weren't here to co-create it, right? So thank you guys so much for showing up. It has been such an incredible, epic journey.
Yeah, thank you.
Who else has something to share? I know you guys, someone in here has something.
Last night, when we had that moment and I told you I feel like this changed my life.
Aww.
Like I was serious.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of, just negative pent-up energy that has been released.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I also view this as for everyone, that it's like, for someone to be here, out of 8 billion people on the planet, or all the things you could be doing this week with your life, you were a close enough vibrational match to be here. And I know the work that I've done and am doing and what I represent in the world, and I've kind of claimed my own, like this is who and what I am, and this is where I'm going. And so I know what I represent energetically. And so each of you are such close matches vibrationally that here we are having not only a two-sided conversation, you're on this side of the microphone at this moment, right? So it's like you've called in more of whatever the show has represented to you is now literally activated within you. And that's such a cool thing to watch happen each week. It's such an intense process. And so congratulations on doing the work and making it here, because you couldn't be here if you weren't a vibrational match to it. It's impossible. Right.
Thank you for creating the space.
Yeah. Well, as you know, as I'll say every time, the pleasure is all mine. I mean, truly, it's just such a rewarding experience.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, my pleasure.
There's such a comfort here. When you go somewhere new, there's always a little bit of awkwardness. There's not been any of that. From the moment we walked in, we just felt this energetic field and excitement and even a little bit of emotion first walking in, knowing this is going to be epic. It's going to be life-changing, and it has. I think all of us in some way have been able to receive something. We've been able to release something. And then knowing that when we leave, we're carrying that magic into the world.
That's the most important thing. It's I see this place as sort of a container. It's where, okay, here, let's give you all the downloads. Let's inject all of everything that this place represents right into the core of your being, and go forth into the world and spread it, And that's what I feel like. And I feel like the people who are really that are going to benefit the most and can benefit the world the most with what it represents, that's who's going to end up here. Yeah. It has to be, right? I mean, so that's a really cool thing. It's such a cool, special thing. One of the things I've talked about doing is with several of the past guests is doing a Burning Man camp of all the alumni who have been through. And then every year, not only do we all get a sort of reunion, but then you get to meet all the other people who've been through. And then that becomes talk about an amplification. So Heinrich, if you're listening, Heinrich, who is a past guest, talked about helping to oversee that. And, it's a lot to, Burning Man in general. Most of the people who've been through haven't ever been to the burn, so it would be also great to have a landing pad with I'm going to be however many of us had ended up, whether half came or a quarter or whatever. It'd probably be, even with the people who are around the Mystic Man in general, I would imagine at least we'd have 75 people probably our first year, and so I don't know if that'll happen because it's the end of August, 1st of September. If not this year, perhaps the following. But that's something that I'm really calling in, because I just think that would be, can you imagine for every year being able to say it's like a little family reunion of all of us who had this, unique experience together.
We were already talking about doing that within our group.
Yeah.
It's crazy the bond that we've all created.
You're my family.
Just so much acceptance and allowing. There's no judgment. There's no perception of what you should or shouldn't be. It's just, you can be.
That was like from day one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such clear. I mean, it's like judgment makes no sense. It's like, oh, who's landing here? Exactly who is. Who are they to this place? They're as important as any person that ever could walk through the door. The biggest. If I had Jim Carrey on, for next week's recording, he's no more important than, each and every one of you. You know what I mean? It's like everyone is making this place what it is and contributing and a part of it. And that's really the message of the show in general, is like, we are all so worthy. And I've been driving that point home more and more lately. Like when you understand how much has had to happen for you to be at the point you are, to exist, the choice points throughout, decades and hundreds and thousands of years, 5,000 years ago, things that had to happen for you to be here now, to be the culmination of the universe's evolutionary process, is you. And so whenever you think about, like, am I worthy? It's like, what? You know what had to happen to? It's like the lotto had to be hit like 1 million times in a row for you to be sitting here, and it did. That's how bad the universe wanted to express itself as you. And so whenever anyone is ever considering or thinking about their self-worth, it's like, remember that, because it's the truth. We're all just reflections of one another, and anything beautiful that you see, you're seeing yourself. And what's so crazy about that idea is so many people have turned that on its head. Like, it's like we've had lots of conversations about in this house about how many things are backwards in our society, right? Yeah. And that's one of them, is like, oh, I see this beautiful thing, and it's like, oh, I'm not that. I couldn't have that. That's different than me. And it's like, no. Actually, it's exact opposite. You're seeing it because it's such a close match. That's how it's appearing in your field out of the bazillion things that could be appearing in your field. And so once you start getting that, now you just, every time you see something that you love or admire or want more of in your life, instead of creating a story around how it's separate from you, you actually absorb its essence, So you go around like, what superhero was it who could like take people's powers, old show. There's an old show called Heroes. Shout out to anyone who's seen that many, many years ago. But there's one of the guys, and he could take everyone's powers from them, and he wasn't doing it in a nice way. I'm talking about doing it in a nice way, but that's literally what you were doing if you're telling that story. So today, you guys out there listening, if you're seeing anything that you love and admire, and you normally created separation between you and it, I challenge you to tell a different story around it, and then see what sort of effect you get from telling that different story, because that's the part that really where it gets exciting, because you realize, oh, hold on, this abracadabra I create as I speak thing is real. I'm telling this story, I'm casting a spell with the story I tell around what's going on in my world. And so thank you guys for showing up. Does anyone have anything that they want to add as we sort of wind down?
The guest book is pretty cool.
I haven't looked at it. Where the past guests just leave them little messages?
Yeah, it's the first thing we looked at. We kind of just like sat in bed and read them.
Oh.
And I was just like, I hope, I'm excited to write on it now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they leave messages to, kind of to future guests kind of thing? Is there any of that?
Yeah, just about how much, they didn't expect to get out as much as they did.
Ooh, I wanted to read it. I forgot that we even put those in early on.
So I'm like, in the beginning, I was like, we'll see if we get there. And we got there day one. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's cool, the synchronicity of how we all ended up here together, too.
Definitely.
Like, I don't think it...
I've marveled at that every time. The people that end up together, it's like I can always see why. You know, after spending time, how once again it's like there's an intelligence happening beyond anything we could ever really. We've created a container and we've got some things that are sort of guidelines and structure, but there's so much looseness to it that we allow the universe to determine who's supposed to be here together, who's a vibrational match that's so close that we are each other's medicine. So you're going to come with the people who have a gift for you, and that's really the case with anyone that we're ever bumping up against. Like if you once again start telling that story, whoever I'm bumping up against, they have a gift for me. And that gift may be to challenge me, to make me stronger into the next greatest and greatest version of myself. That gift may be beautiful and empowering. It could, it's all gifts, It's like
Definitely.
the book Conversations with God talked about it. He said, I've sent you nothing but angels. And I love that perspective.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely been different especially with being sick and being here this entire week. If like I were at home, I'd probably just be in bed and sleeping. But so it's been awesome being able to like have everyone lift me up where I can feel like I can actually do stuff. And yeah,
We're going to go on a hike to Inspiration Point now, and if you are feeling like a little tired from dealing with a little bit of sickness this week, there's a great area where you can just chill and we'll come back down and meet you. And so just that popped in my head right now as I think about taking you on a hike, as you've been such a trooper powering through. Well, anyone, as we wind down, have anything to add?
I think if anyone's thinking about coming here for the week, but you're making excuses or finding reasons to avoid it, that's probably because you do really need to come here.
Yeah, 100%.
That's interesting. That's a great point. Like one of the things I think of is my good friend Craig. He's one of my first podcasts, like first 10, and he leads ayahuasca journeys, and he talks about that a lot, how he's seen it so over 25 years of doing it, where people whose ego knows that a bunch of transformation is going to happen and will find like all these ways to get out of it. Like sometimes he says some of the excuses and things I've seen are so crazy, and he says like the ego is like kind of freaking out because it knows like, the big transformation's coming and I'm going to kind of be put in my place, right? And so that's an interesting point that I've never been made, so thank you for making that, Barry. One of the things that I'll add to that is with December, I actually still have a few spots, which usually it's been booked out months in advance. And I think maybe because it's the holidays, it's probably the least traveled time. Most people are seeing their family. So if there's a couple spots still in December, if you guys if someone's interested, I would definitely do a discount because it's so close now, beyond what I would normally do. At the end of the day, I'd much rather have someone here than not, and, even if it's just, we lose on it in the end, that's fine. If that what's meant to be always is. And you guys can schedule, or if you want to talk about coming beyond December too, of course, we have spots as well. And you can book time to talk with me at calendly.com/talk with Brandon. And that's spelled calendly.com/talk with Brandon. Also, if you haven't seen the retreat video, there's 2 retreat videos and the trailer for Optimistic on optimistic.tv. And you can check those out as well as kind of like bullets of everything that happens during the retreats. And so, yeah, that's kind of the spiel there. Okay, gone. Anything else? Anyone?
We love you so.
Do we want to do a collective on 3? 1, 2, 3. We love you so much. Have a good one. Till next time, journey well, everyone. And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat-style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.